Sweetwater.
The first Emmons, he said she was on par with Janice.
And then
He opened it. They opened Woodstock.
They opened
the
Woodstock.
first one.
Harvey was playing with them?
No, Harvey did not want to go to Woodstock.
Yeah.
Because he's got them their first contract. Both playing with them every now and then, but also got them their contract and toured with them and road managed them and stuff like that. Sweetwater. What happened? Nancy Nevins was in this awful car wreck.
Oh.
And that's what, that's why you don't know her name like Janis Joplin or
Yeah.
something, because about killed her.
Oh,
She was in
really?
the hospital for many, many years.
And the band didn't really play much for it.
Right.
But he wrote these two songs, Please Let Me Love You and Don't Be Long, with...
Which is also called It Won't Be Wrong.
Really?
It's got two names,
Really?
which is very confusing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was with the Byrds members?
That was with Jim and Gwen.
Roger McGuinn.
Well, it was Jim at the
I
time.
know that's his real name.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess he thinks of him, I guess he does think of him as Roger now, but at the time...
Oh, they weren't brothers. That's the same person.
Same person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jim McGuinn
Is his real name.
is his real name.
Really?
And he got into Baha'i faith and changed his name.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. This is...
And Gene Clark was their lead singer.
Really?
And he played the tambourine.
Yeah. They released those songs on Turn, Turn, Turn also?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there were several re-releases. And the singles, the first two singles were Please Let Me Love You and Don't Be Long, or It Won't Be Wrong, which is the same
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
There's a story about that, about where they recorded it. But
And he's worked for all these different companies, JBL and Fender and Rhodes. and all that.
JBL, and he was with them from the beginning. He worked with Harold Rhodes on the Rhodes piano.
Oh, really?
E3 speakers.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Trident. They were released under the Trident name.
Oh, is that
Malcolm
right?
Toft owned Trident, but
He designed the speakers and the cabinets, or?
yeah, he came. Yeah, he basically designed it, and he got a good friend of his that he really likes, his electronic engineering, that designed the power amp.
Oh, really? Yeah.
When he had the crossovers, and I mean, we got a pair in there. We'll show you.
Really?
We've
Yeah.
got the prototypes actually.
Oh, uh-huh.
It was originally called the Men.
Oh, really?
13 guitar players. He'd line them up. He'd tune them all. Because he had the ear, and he could tune them all real fast. Excuse me.
It's Indian Trail, singular. Not
Singing,
trails.
okay.
This is a story that needs to be told that hadn't been told ever. If anybody ever has, he's a legend, Harvey is.
I used to see Harder Beat around. You wrote for them, too?
Yeah,
Was it?
for
I wouldn't
years.
have anyone else to record me after
For musicians only.
I hated to see them go out of business, I don't suppose.
I did too. Linda just got really just tired of it, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of work for so long, for so
Yeah.
many years. But she helped a lot of people.
Oh yeah, she just was so sweet. I really liked her.
Now that was mainly for the heavy metal scene, heavier scene.
Yeah.
Kind of heavy harder rock.
Yep. And I think she got discouraged. What was the big building, the big venue?
Dallas.
Gentlemen's Club thing or something. It's kind of like all the venues for metal kind of disappeared.
But you've worked with the Buffalo Springfield, the Association, the Byrds, Bob Dylan.
Well, the association was originally a group called the Men. And then we were managed by Doug Weston, the owner of the Troubadour. 4 weeks in a row. And we had a lot of people that were, big fans. Bob Dylan was one of them. And big management disagreement, big fight disagreements, and some of us left the group, and the remainder became the association.
I was telling about you lining up 13 guitar players and tuning them all. You were
Yeah.
telling me about that.
And also the right angle, might go down the road, just tune them. Don't be long or it won't be wrong was the other name of the song. That was the Byrds' first two songs when they were not the Byrds, they were the Beefeaters, and they were on Molecular Records.
Now, where did you record? Well, you weren't in the Byrds. You just
No.
wrote the songs
No.
with Jim.
They recorded at Tim Dixon down pre-recording time, and then they recorded the single at Columbia.
Oh, really?
And Roger was the only one that played on the song. Everybody else was studio musicians,
Oh, yeah.
and they were signed to a one single deal.
Is
If
that
the single
right?
went anywhere, they do an album. And of course, that was Mr. Tambourine Man, and it went somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Did you grow up in Southern California?
Yeah, we moved there from Chicago when I was about 10, about 30 years there.
Really? The music scene was really booming and taking off.
Yeah,
for
it
those
was.
years.
Well, it was all folk. Roger McGuinn played for the Chad Mitchell Trio, Judy Collins, and what was that group? Mind Writers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he was one of the musicians for the Mind Writers. In fact, the only other musician for Mind Writers. And then when the Beatles hit, it seemed like McGuinn and I were the only two people in the folk music scene that really loved what they were doing. And we started at the Troubadour at the bar, and we were sitting there, and I was looking for a song that he had done with Judy Collins, an old folk song, and he didn't remember the words, but he remembered the chords, and he was very influenced by the Beatles and started playing it in the Beatles style. I said, wow, that'd be a great rock and roll song. We wrote the words out to Don't Be Wrong, It Won't Be Wrong, and we did Please Let Me Love You in about another 5 minutes.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then I was in Men, and he went and got Gene Clark and David Crosby, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And those songs were released on Turn, Turn, Turn also?
It Won't Be Wrong was released. They were on Electro at Peavey's, and they had the rights to Please Let Me Love You and Don't Be Long. In return for keeping the rights to Please Let Me Love You, they let the Byrds out of their contract with Electra, and so they had the rights to re-record Don't Be Long with Won't Be Long. That's what happened there. And that was the second song on the Turn, Turn, Turn album. But that was actually the first song they ever recorded.
I guess there's always a lot of legal restrictions involved
Oh,
with
yeah.
the music business once you're writing songs and records are selling. And
Now, oddly enough, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, we'd written the songs, and I saw Gene a few times, or I saw Roger a few times, and the next thing I know, he's got the Byrds, and I'm driving down the road, and they're playing the Turn, Turn, Turn album, and I hear It Won't Be Wrong. Don't be wrong. I never had a, big accident. I had to pull over and just stop and, whoa, registered them under his name and mine. And then Gene Clark had this gorgeous bridge to Please Let Me Love You, and so he got writing credit.
so then you opened up this studio here, and you've done recording and engineering for a lot of people over the years here at this location.
Oh yeah. Well, you see all the records on the wall, and there's probably that many more that could go up.
Yeah.
Of course, my son Alex, who has a studio now in Carrollton, he's the big star of the show. I mean, he's recording all the major groups in North Texas.
He won Producer of the Year, Dallas Fort Worth Producer of the Year,
I think 4 times.
4 times. That's great. One of the bands he worked with, where he won one of those Producer of the Year awards.
Yeah.
Slow Roosevelt.
Slow
Yeah.
Roosevelt, yeah.
And he did Free Reign, which is made up of 3 of the Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
back when they were still together, but it was Mark Colombo, Leonard Davis, and
Corey Proctor.
Corey Proctor. So they played it on the opening day of the new
We got
stadium.
we got VIP parking, and
Really?
they had a huge screen, and that was the opening thing. And there's, you know, Free Reign doing that song they did out here, and
That's
it
great.
was, and their heads
they
would
barely
almost
touch
brush
the
the
They
ceiling.
were, yeah, big guys, yeah.
Oh, we've had a lot of interesting, fun, crazy things happen out here.
I'm sure. What do you feel like when musicians approach you and they have songs they want to record? And I guess you've had all kinds of different music over the years, but what has been your experience of what really makes a successful song, or one, you know, becomes kind of a hit?
Oh gosh, there's several parts to it. One, does the song have a general appeal to a large audience? Two, is it catchy and relatively short? And three, what kind of marketing do they have available? Because today, it's all about marketing. You can't hardly get a record played in Dallas or Fort Worth, because the bulk of the major channels, radio channels, are owned by one company, Clear Channel, out of Iowa or Nebraska or somewhere. They determine what gets played, period.
I know.
So
They're in every major radio station, every
something
major
like
city.
1,200 major stations now in just every key market.
So people have turned to the internet and try to put their music out there just to get.
Yeah, but even there, how are you going to get to the bulk of the people on the internet?
Yeah.
It's really difficult these days. That's why things like American Idol and some of these shows are amazing shows for record companies, because before they even have a hit or anything, they can gauge the public's reaction to the artist. And you know, I'd say by the second show, they're already signed to a recording contract. For probably not that much money, mostly in favor of the recording company, but at least they've got the exposure and they know the first song is going to be at least $500,000 to $1 million seller. So it's great for the record companies. They don't have to put out any money to advertise them.
That's right. I used to enjoy watching Star Surge with Ed McMahon and Star
Yeah.
Surge. Now it's kind of mushroomed out, I guess.
How the reality shows are, it's so much cheaper to do a reality show than to produce a show with scripted and everything.
Oh yeah. Just go in there and start filming.
Yep.
You were written about in the Fort Worth Weekly.
Yeah.
Vintage guitar magazine you guys were talking about.
Oh yeah. After I left Acoustic Control, I started a company called Delta Products, and I wanted to design a tube amplifier because Acoustic Control said we're never going to put out a tube amp. You know, the solid state. Eventually they did put out a tube amp. But in the meantime, I went ahead and designed this ultimate tube amplifier, and they had some, you know, major people that really loved it.
So your daughter.
And an article's coming out next month. And
Yeah, it's coming out like this February.
Hey, Harvey.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna be in control.
There's a
of
guy
you.
named Carl used to live over there. Carl.
That's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, Harvey
Hi,
used
Mike.
hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Is Krum growing much?
It's growing a little bit. We're still in the sticks.
Yeah. That's a good place to be though.
Yeah. We don't have anybody that's bothered by the music.
Yeah.
Friend next door, Nick, he plays guitar and on the square. And,
Yeah.
we just do that so often. Guy down the road, Kempery, he plays guitar, so we get together a lot.
That's good. It's good to get along with your neighbors.
And Gene,
Wouldn't he your
we
brother-in-law or
stay
something?
here. Gene is an amazing guitar player. He's played with every bluegrass group there is.
Marty?
Killer bass player, and
My mother-in-law worked with him, and he worked out there.
he's just killer.
Years.
What all does a road manager really do?
Nothing for now. I know
Well,
that name.
you-
I can't put a face to this person.
When you get to the gigs, you make sure that they've got hotel rooms. They're all there and accounted for. Make sure the amps are all set up and ready to go. Somewhere in the middle of the gig, you make sure you picked up the money that's due you.
I just messed
And,
about 3 or 4 months ago.
And pack them up for the next gig. So they Sweetwater open for
It's a good one, too.
Eric Bird and the Animals.
Really?
I like it.
Jimi Hendrix, or Linda Ronstadt, a lot of,
Lambert's
and
That's how you made a lot of people like Hendrix.
yeah, well, Hendrix, he was left-handed, and so am I, and he bought some of the acoustic amps. He was having problems, heavy strings, off the next. I went and got mine, which was a Black Widow, which I designed. He fell in love with that, and when I wrote the first 2 songs for the Byrds, I got hired as a writer by Raymond Stone, Charvel-Vega.
Ben, yeah. He's good.
Yeah, that picture in there of Buffalo Springfield is next to the last show they ever did.
Yeah.
With Buffalo Springfield. Richie Furay.
Oh, yeah.
Salvador Hillman and Furay. That was Chris Hillman.
Richie is the singer.
Yeah. So they all kind of went their way, but into, became major groups.
They put a lot of records out.
You're gonna have your work cut out.
Huh?
You're gonna have your work cut out.
Gotta be a breeze.
What kind of mic do you use?
In this case, I'm be using some 5 9-amped microphones, a little tiny things. They're omnidirectional, and I use them on Joe Hood's albums, and I got really great results. So I'm not spoiling them. Go with what I know works.
That pink wasn't there.
And then I'll use a big mic on the board. Are they about ready?
They're tuning up.
Okay, we got to set up microphones.
Hey, if you guys, if your headphone volume is too high or too low, do thumbs up or thumbs down.
Gotcha.
Wait, this mean too high? No,
Yeah.
this means go down.
That
Okay,
means go
let's-
down.
Go
That
down.
means
Let's start with
Go down.
bass,
Okay.
level on the bass. Okay, let's add banjo and bass.